General, I just want to thank you for all that you've done for the country, and think that you will do a tremendous job as chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. And I want to thank Ellen and your family for what they've done for the country and continue to do. We appreciate it. I wanted to also add my support to what Senator McCaskill said about the issue of retaliation. I think this is a very important issue as we focus on the work that we've done in this committee to eliminate and to work to prevent sexual assault in the military, and to support victims and to hold the perpetrators accountable. So I think that's excellent. I look forward to seeing that proposal from you. I wanted to ask about the situation as we look at Iran and their support for regional terrorism. How would you assess Iran's current activities, and where are they engaging in support, either directly or through proxies, for efforts that are undermining security in the region?
Senator, Iran is clearly a malign influence and the most destabilizing element in the Middle East today. They're providing support to the Houthis down in Yemen. They obviously provide support. Hezbollah is a clear malign influence in Lebanon. There's indications they're involved in Syria. And certainly they're involved in trying to expand their influence into Iraq, and they're creating, I think, they're exacerbating at least the Sunni Shia sectarianism across the region.
I want to follow up more on that, but I also want to ask you, I saw reports that they were also engaged in supporting the Taliban in Afghanistan more now. Is there anything you can share with us on that?
Senator, I've seen those same reports, and from my perspective, what I've seen in the reports is that they have provided some support to the Taliban in an effort to counter ISIL.
Do you believe, as we think about your experience, I know you commanded troops in Iraq, but certainly Iran has the blood of American soldiers on its hands for what the explosive materials that they provided to the Shia militias in Iraq that killed many of our men and women in uniform. And so do you think, as we look at the situation in Iraq and what's happening with the Shia militias you referred to, how could they be a malign influence in the longer-term solution in Iraq?
Senator, they clearly could be a malign influence, which is why I believe we should not provide any support to those forces unless they're directly under the Iraqi government and not provided support by the Iranians.
Thank you. I wanted to also ask you about the situation on cyber, because the FBI director, we've received briefings on the OPM breach, but the FBI director has said that he believes this is an enormous breach. Millions and millions of individuals who provided background information have been breached, and that Director Clapper has said that they believe it's the Chinese who have done this breach. What do you think we should be, when we look at the threats facing our nation, how grave do you think the cyber threat is? And also, how would you assess our current posture with the Chinese and how we should be addressing this situation?
Senator, I would agree with you. The cyber threat is clearly very significant. And frankly, every week we learn a bit more about the OPM breach. My number one concern, obviously, as a service chief, is for the data in the well-being of the men and women whose data that is haven't been compromised. One of the challenges is, of course, attribution. But from my perspective, if confirmed, my role will be to provide the President with a full range of options to deal with these cyber attacks, which is what the OPM breach was.
Mm-hmm. So I know that Senator Manchin had asked you what you believed our gravest national security threat was, and you identified Russia. And certainly we've seen this aggression by Putin and Russia that certainly invading other countries, essentially. But what is it, as you look at the national security situation, you think about immediate threats to the country, what keeps you up at night the most?
Senator, what keeps me up at night the most is our ability to respond to the uncertain. I'm very confident in the joint force today and our capabilities and capacities to deal with the challenges that we have today, albeit we need improvement in cyber, other capabilities. But on balance, the force that we have today is able to deal with the challenges that we know. there's very little residual capacity, and this is the issue that's been discussed many times before this committee and that you've had some personal engagement on. It's the readiness to respond to the uncertain, frankly, that keeps me up at night. As a service chief, and certainly one that would keep me up at night were I to be confirmed as the chairman.
Thank you.